For those moving to the area, the Western Canadian domain lay wild and vast across the endless horizon. Where other newcomers saw an arid expanse of bare land, the Galts, Alexander and Elliott, father and son, were inspired by opportunity. Their imagination saw a grand vision: railways to bring new settlers from across the rolling hills, a network of irrigation channels that could create green and fertile land, and coal mines to unlock from the hills the energy to power this new colony. Galt. We celebrate the men who carried this name. Their ambition, their optimism, and ultimately their success in bringing settlement and prosperity to the region created a sense of place that remains core to the community's identity. From childhood, he must have dreamt of Canada, a land that promised adventure and a swift success to enterprising. Born in 1817 in London, England, Alexander Galt was son to Scottish poet John Galt, famous for philosophy about the New World. As a young idealist, 18-year-old Galt moved to Sherbrooke, Lower Canada, and he soon became active in politics. Alexander Galt's vision of a strong Canada stretching from coast to coast mirrored the newly forming nation's own interest in Western expansion. It was Galt who first suggested uniting the British North American provinces and the Northwest. While this union had not been immediately acted upon, Galt's vision and influence over his fellow politicians make him the real father of Confederation. During this time, Galt's vision for what Canada could be made him one of the first choices for the position that was to become the Prime Minister, but declined to focus exclusively on the financial and economic priorities needed for Canada's foundation. Galt convinced the federal government that the most effective way to develop and settle the West was through business opportunity. For thousands of years, southern Alberta had been inhabited by the Blackfoot people and now was about to go through a large transition. Elliott Torrance Galt, born May 24, 1850 in Sherbrooke, Quebec, through his education had been carefully groomed for a business career. Elliott Galt's duties took him across the prairies, and he quickly adapted to life in the Canadian West. Elliott visited a local mine. The land was so rich with coal, black seams were poking out from the coulee walls. Convinced of the area's potential, Alexander enticed his London associates to fund a new company to extract this resource, forming the Northwestern Coal and Navigation Company. His son Elliott became his business partner. Alexander mentored his son in business, and they spent the next several years developing his coal mine, acquiring land, and creating an expansive rail network connecting their company's coal to the rest of Canada and the United States. The Galts laid out plans for a town site in 1884, naming streets after company shareholders. As a result of these efforts, the town of Coalbanks was renamed on October 15, 1885. It would now be known as Lethbridge, home to a burgeoning community. Over the next 2 decades, Elliott Galt's diplomacy, integrity, and good judgment earned him the goodwill of investors and business associates. He recognized the expertise in people from all backgrounds. Change and economic upswing would spark Elliott's literally groundbreaking contribution to southern Alberta, the construction of a vast irrigation network. To create the expansive irrigation project, Elliott appealed to the Church of Latter-day Saints community to utilize their labor and expertise in the area for the benefit of all. Water was turned on at the head of the main canal at St. Mary River in July 1900, bringing water to dry areas and creating productive farms. This was Elliott Galt's most transformative achievement for the city of Lethbridge, southern Alberta, and Canada. It is unlikely that Sir Alexander or Elliott Galt could have imagined Lethbridge as it is today. Their ambition laid the foundation for an industrialized settlement of southern Alberta. The hospital the Galts built to serve and foster the health of the community they helped create is now a symbol that carries their name and harbors their contributions through history. Their name and the Galt Museum and Archives now serves as a bridge between the past and future.